Growing up, there were two big things I did with my life: played drums and played video games. In a lot of role-playing video games, there are skill trees where you have like different skills in different areas, and that develops your character and you become personalized. I realized it's the same with drumming. Drumming has various aspects to it. If you want to get good at playing the drums, there are different pillars to focus on, and that is how you improve your skills. What I'm going to do in this video is break drumming down into these pillars so you can see what they are. And in those games, you often meet NPCs or characters that are very good at particular things. So if you're playing like Skyrim, you'll go to the Mages Guild and there'll be some big mage that's really good at magic abilities or whatever. It's the same with drumming. There are pro drummers that everyone knows nail certain aspects of drumming, and they are great to look at for inspiration. So groove is the first aspect we're going to look at. Basically, if you have a good sense of groove, it means when you play drum beats, they sound, they feel, and they look very good. The whole point of drumming is playing drum grooves. So this is a very important pillar of drumming, and it's a good one to work at. And basically how you get better at it is you just play beats and you just do that over and over, and you listen to a lot of music, and the more that happens, the more you play with different people, the better your sense of groove will get. Also, practice with a metronome. That's also a fantastic way of improving your sense of groove. There are a few drummers that come to mind when I think of like who has the best groove, and one of my favorite ones to check out is Nate Smith. Just watch this video and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Drum fills, that's like the next pillar to focus on. It just means like when you play grooves and you play fills around the kit. I'd also just refer to this as like freedom around the kit or flow around the kit. A pro drummer that people undoubtedly look up to in this area is Eric Moore. Technique is basically, if you are a drummer and you have good technique, it means you have the abilities to play things. If you have bad technique, you are being held back by what your body can't do. So the better your technique is, the more free you are to play complicated things on the drums, and the better they sound. So essentially all the drummers with the best technique are the ones who are able to play at very high speeds. They are able to play for very long bits at a time, and they are able to just play incredible things using certain techniques. So for drums, you have things like the slide technique or the heel toe technique with the pedal, or you have the push pull technique with your hands, or just holding your drumsticks optimally or sitting at the drum kit in the best way. That is good technique. Mike Mangini is someone who I always think of when I think of technique, because that guy has really put in the work to develop the most solid technique possible. Before we move on, I just need to tell you about the video sponsor, Music. So you've probably noticed that most of my videos include drum notation. Putting notation always helps put everything into perspective, and it makes it easier to learn. The better drummers are at reading and writing notation, the quicker they'll be able to come up with new things or learn what others are already doing. This brings us to Music Pro, a transcription app that was made by drummers for drummers. The big apps like Finale and Sibelius are cool, but they include so many complicated features that I don't use. They also make it quite difficult to write drum parts out quickly. So Music simplifies this process, making it easier than ever to write out drum parts very quickly. You can write out full drum sheets if you need, or you can simply write out short sections like I do in all of my videos. If you want to find out more about the app and try it out for yourself, just follow the link in the description of this video. Timing. This refers to just how good your sense of internal timing is when you play the drums. As drummers, we all need to be good at timing. It's our role within a band. So having good timing is very important. And again, like with groove, you can just get better at this by just playing with a metronome. Most drummers have crazy good timing. So there's like so many drummers I could show you for this. But I'm just going to mention Matt Gasker here because I'm about to show you a clip where he plays a drum solo at 35 beats per minute, which is crazy. If a drummer has good coordination, it means they are good at using all 4 of their limbs at the same time while playing different things. Sometimes one limb will be doing something completely different to another. Just coordination, independence, those are often 2 words used interchangeably. This one's super important, but honestly, I don't think it's as important as everything I've mentioned up to this point. It's better that you have a good sense of timing than it is that you have a good sense of coordination. However, it also depends on the music you play. So if you're playing with a Brazilian Latin band, you're going to need to have good coordination to be able to play samba grooves and mambo grooves and all that good stuff. El Estepario is the drummer I'm going to mention here. He just has crazy good coordination between all of his limbs. So creativity is a bit harder to quantify compared to everything we've spoken about so far. However, some of the best drummers out there tend to push boundaries with the drum kit. They do new things and drummers tend to follow what they do. So they like molding the instrument as time goes on. There are so many drummers that have done that type of thing. The most modern one I can think of is JD Beck, because he plays in a very particular style, and a lot of people have started to adopt that style. He definitely wasn't the first drummer to play like this, but a lot of people just think of him when they think of quick 30-second note groove style things. Improvisation just refers to you just sitting on the kit and playing. So if you just play random stuff, that's improvising. But it often needs to be in a musical context, and I would say jazz drummers are probably the best improvisers. If you are a good improvising drummer, it just means you have lots of ideas to put out. I know a lot of us struggle when we sit on the kit. We struggle with just playing the same thing over and over. If your skills in improvisation get better, it means you don't struggle, or you'll stop struggling with playing the same things over and over. So this is definitely something that everyone should work on. One of my favorite drummers to watch when I want to see good improvisational skills is Mark Juliana. If I were to describe musicality in just a short phrase, it would just be making good choices. So the most musical drummers on the planet make the best choices when they are in band environments. So if you're playing with a band, the band's doing something, you as a drummer, if you play the best thing that suits that music, that means you are a musical drummer. And a big thing to remember as drummers is we want to be musicians, we don't just want to be drummers. So musicality is a very important pillar of being a good overall drummer, and the best drummer I can think of when it comes to musicality is Lionel Lewis. I've literally never watched Lionel Lewis play with a band and thought, that doesn't fit. He could have played something else. He just seems to play the perfect thing every single time. So those are the pillars of drumming. If you want to get better as an overall drummer, it's good to write those down and then just rate yourself on how good you think you are in each area. And in doing that, you'll kind of see what you need to work on. And when you work on that and get better, your overall drumming will become better. Just a fantastic way of breaking down drumming to its core. I'm a big fan of grooves and learning new grooves. And there are a few grooves that have changed my life as I've learned them. And if you want to learn exactly what those are, check this video out.